Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to the Dune Part 2 spoiler podcast. We are back 3 years later, not to the day, because the movie got delayed, unfortunately, but we're back and we're ready and we're hyped, man. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Miss Dana Abercrombie,
Hello.
Carlos Romero,
Yo, 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 what's going on?
and my illegitimate son, Mr. Joey Polanco.
What's up, everybody?
Yo, I love how you changed. Like, used to be this my unofficial cousin. Now you're my illegitimate son, and you got upgraded. You know,
we're changing the lore. We're changing the lore.
Yeah, we're changing it, man. Some people may not be happy about that, man. But yeah, man. Dune 2, it is out, and it is everything I wanted it to be and more. Another insane movie, to say the least. But you know, we're gonna do our usual. We're gonna give our like individual little takes, and then we're gonna dive in. Remember, I don't want to hear shit from nobody. Oh, you're spoiling a movie. It's called a spoiler cast. We're spoiling stuff. Get ready. Because people still say that. Why are you spoiling the movie? You spoil this. I'm like, read the I understand that like reading comprehension in America is like a fifth grade level now. We should at least know what a spoiler is. You know? Mm-hmm. Yeah, by the way, that's not just me making up stuff. That's literally the reading comprehension level in America. Very terrible. Anyway, so I'm going to start first. Obviously, you guys already know. Love the first movie. That movie kind of reminded me that movies can be good. That CG can be good. That we don't need fucking quips every 5 seconds whenever something serious happens. Like that. Like it was just on another level. And just remember, like, oh yeah, we used to get movies like this until like Hollywood just started to be stupid. Fucking awesome. So I was hyped for this, and I wasn't let down at all, man. Just like the first one, this movie was close to 3 hours. Didn't feel like it. When it was over, I'm like, nah, it's not enough. I need more. I need more of this. You know. So yeah, I'm blown away. Like I'm gonna get into it, obviously, but like there's only one slight thing I can say. We'll go into it, but like it's very difficult to pick. Like this is bad. Like Denis, man, like this him and fucking Christopher Nolan are like the best working directors we have right now. Like nobody is even close to them. You know, no,
he's not working.
Okay. Yeah, he's not working technically. You know why? You know, Joey, I was thinking about this. It was like, yeah, but he makes a movie like every 15 years,
and it slaps.
It does slap. I'll give you that. But like consistently, those two dudes, like nobody's even coming close. You know, so yeah, movie's fucking awesome. Dana, quick thoughts on Dune 2, The Revenge.
Dune 2, The Revenge. As someone who absolutely hated Dune 1, yes, it's possible. I didn't like it. I was bored. This was a cinematic masterpiece. In fact, coming out of the theater, I really wished I could talk to somebody who was much older, because I wanted to know, is this what you felt like when you saw Star Wars for the first time in theaters? Because it had that same feel for me. Like I felt like I was witnessing just history. It was the most beautiful, both even looks, the storyline, everything just matched up to perfection, which I know we'll get into. It's not perfection, but it was perfection for me.
Good stuff. All right, Joey, man, quick thoughts before we get into it.
I absolutely loved it. I had a chance to see it in 70 millimeter.
Oh shit,
so that was dope. Yeah, that was incredible. I was thinking while I was watching the movie, I do know a few people similar to Dana that was saying that the pacing of the first one, just a few, it wasn't for everybody. I feel like they took that into mind here. This was the definition of the word epic. Like this was like, wow. Even if someone, it's gonna be a hot take. I'm sorry.
Oh.
No, I don't think anyone could officially say this. They hate this movie. I don't think that's. I'm sorry. Like unless you don't speak English or you don't speak the language, I'm sorry. There's no way. This was damn near hands down from start to end. Similar to what you said, felt like 20 minutes. It's just perfect package.
For sure, right? And Carlos, man, quick thoughts.
Yeah. I'll just preface the whole thing by saying that I had plans November 3rd when the movie was originally supposed to come out.
Yep.
I had plans. I went to New York during that time, and I wanted to see Dune. I wanted to do the Joy Polanco
with the
movie.
homies, you know.
With yeah, man, and with the homies, and I wanted to see it in IMAX because we don't got true IMAX over here. We got some FOMAX, some weird ass IMAX that is not really IMAX, and I wanted to see it in all its glory because I knew, it was going to be made and tailor made for this. And even if I didn't get the chance, man, this movie delivered. It immersed you into the world. It felt like it just left off where it just kept going where it left off in the first movie, and every single scene was really impactful. It had a purpose. It didn't feel like no fluff. It just kept going and kept going. I love this movie. I mean, I didn't want to go too off on Twitter yesterday because I was going to say, like, I was already going to put Denis in my Mount Rushmore of directors of all time.
I mean, yeah, man.
And after this movie, it's hard not to do that. But, I mean, I still got to give this a little bit more time. But as we are right now, this movie is amazing. I love this movie. It could have gone another hour, honestly. It could have gone another hour, and I wouldn't have been bored.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I do want to jump on something, Dana, you said earlier, because, like when I saw, and I'm talking about the first movie specifically, right? When I left that film, I felt the way I did after leaving Fellowship of the Ring. I'm like, whoa, like, holy crap. And this was more of it. I don't even consider this its whole movie. It's just the whole full story. But I definitely felt that. I can't relate to Star Wars. I wasn't even born when the first movie came out. But when that, like, Fellowship of the Ring, when you saw that movie, man, you knew you were watching something special. And this one, I got the same feeling for the first one. It's like, whoa. Like, and with this movie, both of them, like, when you watch a movie, you kind of start getting distracted by a couple of things. You're thinking about other things. You're in it. It like captivates you. Doesn't let you go. And obviously watching an IMAX helps. It's just fucking, like your ears are bombarded. Visual spectacle. Like that's what I love about IMAX. So everybody talks about the visualness. So like I love the sound of IMAX. Like it hurts. I like that. Like it physically hurts. It's like it's so like unrelenting, man. Oh, so good. But yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, like you guys said, this movie literally just picks up where the last one left off. Like it's not like 5 years later on Planet Dune. It's like we are in it, man. And like I would say for the first like third of the movie, we're just on Dune with the Fremen, and we really get deep into their culture and stuff. And I love seeing Paul's journey. It's not like, oh, okay, yes, he's powers. He's just God's like, no, you got to earn this shit, bro. So that was really good. We just got to learn more about the culture and all that. And also Shani, she got like a lot more screen time, challenging. That was kind of cool too. Like that's a change from the book that I thought was interesting, because in the book, all the Fremen were just basically all the same. Like they all believe the same thing. This one is like it's more realistic. Like you wouldn't have all the same people believing the same shit. So I kind of like that. That was kind of cool. It adds more tension to the scenes. But yeah, let's talk about that. What do you guys think of the first third of the movie, where it's just like you're just on Dune the whole time,
The first third, I know the scene, it's still in the first third where he learns how to ride the sandworm for the first time. That scene in a big format was
insane.
Yeah, where he's standing, you see the tracking shot and you see it come up. That was one of the first few times where you get that sense of scale that's like, whoa, like, and you feel everything rumbling and coming close. I did love the tension. I don't have a ton of familiarity. I can't pronounce that with Zendaya, but here as Chani in this role, I was like, okay, all right, my bad. She's doing her thing. Same thing for Paul. I'm like, whoa, especially in the second half, which we'll talk later, was just like, all right, Javier Bardem, undeniably, no one has to debate that man. Yeah. But yeah, no, this was wow, damn.
Yeah, I felt like most of the first part was leading into to writing of the sandworm and learning the Fremens. I actually appreciate because there wasn't much levity in the movie, but Javier Bardem does a great job of adding that into the movie. Yeah, Zendaya was great. Chalamet was great. Yeah. I do appreciate. I didn't know that there was a different contrast, or it was more like a homogenized society in the books in terms of the Fremen. But I like what they did. It was like, oh, the Southern Fremens, they live in this place where it's like almost impossible to live, but that's why all they have is faith. And I felt like that was a pretty good touch. And yeah, man, I don't know if we're gonna get to the sandworm writing part, but man, that was incredible. It was. I'm just jealous of Joey right now because I'm just imagining seeing that 70 millimeter is gonna actually look crazy. But yeah, man, it was great. I felt like what was it? With the turning of the mom, Rebecca Ferguson's character, was crazy. I felt like that. I didn't actually expect that, and I felt like they did a great job. And it's kind of like a really surreal and kind of scary aspect of the movie because you feel so comfortable with how they presented her at the first movie and the beginning of this movie as sort of she's the motherly character, and then just turning into someone where you don't know if you can trust. Added that aspect as well. So yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
Yeah. By the way, Carlos, thank you for texting me. He was like, yo, you sound different. It's because this fucking mic wasn't on. It was the headphone mic. So apologies for that. Now you sound good. Yeah, like we're going to get into that sandworm writing scene and more. But yeah, Dana, what'd you think of the first third? Like, were you just on Arrakis, really learning about the planet and the people?
I appreciate that it started right away. I don't remember the character's name, but the guy who basically Paul had to kill right away was just stupid as all hell, but it served a purpose. And I appreciate that because that's when you start to see Paul's character slowly start morphing into who we get at the end. He's slowly shedding his old self. And so with that first kill, it was really interesting. Secondly, it was also interesting that his prophecies or his dreams basically are not exactly how it goes in reality. Like remember he saw himself as fighting in the battle, but it was actually later on we'll get to Zendaya's character. So I appreciate the unsureness that the movie kind of really showed us. Also him learning and being with the people was incredible. Him and the turn of his mother was interesting. It was scary. And I felt that was even more scarier than Paul. But it really showed all of these people that I don't want to say manipulated him, but molded him into what we get at the very end through manipulation. But I absolutely loved what they did with him and the character in that first third.
Yeah.
And also Zendaya, I was good too. She's not really like she acts. We know her in the movies, but she's never been a standout for me. Yeah. She's always just been in the movie. Yeah, we like her as MJ, but this one I felt she really embodied the role, and it wasn't a lot of talking. No.
I'm talking about with the MJ comment. Me and Joey were reacting to that. But I do want to jump on what you're saying right now because I kind of feel the same way. But finish your thought about Zendaya.
No, I was just going to say that she did a really good job with the emotional, because she was really the emotional weight as well with this, and you could see how she was trying to ground him in this kind of realism while his mom was like, he's the one, and then Javier, he breathes, so he's the one. So I like how she did that.
Yeah, like, is he the one? Is he the one?
Yeah. Every time he did something, he would never admit that he's the one.
Now, he's too humble for that, bro. Like, he
tripped over a bug. It was written.
It was faded, No, I want to get on that because Jane, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, maybe because I was thinking, am I bugging? Because I'm like, I'm just gonna say I never cared for Zendaya as an actress. Like I didn't think she was good at MJ at all in the movies. I think I saw her in some other movie. I'm like, she's not really good in this, but she was pretty good in the first Dune. In this one, she's really fucking good.
3 minutes she was in.
Yeah, the 3 minutes. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, so she has the chops. You just need a good director there, But you know, I agree with it. And again, I like the fact that she didn't agree with what was going on, and she kind of gave a nice balance to Paul, even though Paul wasn't all about it either. He was like being pushed into this shit, you know. And that's so cool because like usually in these type of stories, it's like, I will take up my fate, I will do this, you know. And Paul is like, he's just reluctant the entire time, and then by the end, he's just like, fuck, I guess I have to do this. He don't want to do it, but he has like, I got to go to the South with all these fucking hicks, you know. That's the way I saw it. I was like, oh, the Southern hicks down there, you know, they speak with a crazy accent and everything. But go ahead.
Fremen belt.
The Fremen belt.
I will say at in the first quarter, which obviously I have to bring it up. Florence Pugh was in it.
Yeah, your girl,
so
you know.
The theater was quiet. You heard the woo from me. And but also Christopher Walken. Obviously, we picture Christopher Walken, but like to see him like this was just like, like,
wow.
Yeah, no, he wasn't like that. Like he
wasn't like that.
It seemed like he was actually. I know this is gonna sound messed up because he's a legend. It looked like he was actually acting.
Well, yeah, he wasn't doing his.
I'm going to jump into it because that's the only sticking point I have with this movie. I wish they would have gotten a different actor than Christopher Walken because he's reached that Al Pacino, Anthony Hopkins thing. It's like you're not even acting, dude. You're just yourself in a movie, you know. So thankfully, he didn't talk very much.
Yeah,
you know,
he was quiet.
Yeah, he was quiet, thankfully, but that was the only. And it's not again. It's just a little like a personal Tony thing. I like Christopher Walken, but when that dude's in a movie, it's distracting. You know, like yeah. So that was the only thing when he's on. Like, I never thought, oh, look, there's the Emperor. I was like, oh, there's Christopher Walken. He's in this movie now. You know,
exactly. I mean, like, I agree with you, Tony. I felt like his part, it wasn't bad. It wasn't like super distracting or anything like that. He wasn't bad. But it could have gone to someone that would have been put more gravitas to being the Emperor, you know, those type role. I mean, I just think about the Harkonnens and Skarsgård was incredible in that role and how menacing he was. Yeah. And I just wish, you know, maybe the Emperor could have done that, you know, but you know, Christopher Walken doing what he did, he didn't ruin anything. It was a nitpick for me, but I just wish it would have been gone to someone that would have added more oomph to the Emperor role.
Well, to be fair, I was staring at Florence Pugh the whole
time.
He wasn't. She was great.
She was great.
Yeah, Dana, go ahead.
No, this is why I felt that Christopher Walken worked, because if you look at all of the houses, their leaders are different. So you have Peter, the dude who's the big fat dude. I can't remember his name. But you have the House of Harkins, right? And you see how their tone is. They're completely like maniacs and crazy. But then you have, say, Paul's father, who was like that calm, gentle spirit. We don't want revenge kind of thing. Then if you look at Christopher Walken, he doesn't talk much, but you can see by the fact that he was the one who executed all of these plans and was responsible for the deaths of Paul's father and the destruction of basically almost a planet. He is kind of like that silent but deadly. And I appreciated that. And even if you listen to how he talked or what he really did say, he really wasn't like this big speech giver.
Yeah.
So I think that because they were able to pull him back vocal-wise, that's why the performance worked for me. Where it wasn't like, that's Christopher Walken playing Christopher Walken.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, for me, it was like the fact he didn't speak much helped me not be distracted. Again, it's just a personal thing. I don't think his character was bad. I don't think what he did in the movie is bad. Nothing. It's Christopher Walken. It's very distracting. You know, like it's just very clear it's Christopher Walken in the movie. Somebody let him on the set. You know, it's like what is happening here? It's like oh my god, what's the name of the guy? No, Iron Man 2 villain. Why am I forgetting the dude's name?
Oh yeah,
when that dude showed,
Mickey Rourke.
No, Iron Man 2.
Oh,
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, Mickey Rourke. Yeah,
Mickey Rourke. Him. That's another guy. Like modern day Mickey Rourke. When he's in a movie, he's like, oh, it's Mickey Rourke. You know, it throws me off. You know, even though in Iron Man 2, it literally looked like, oh, he just walked off the set of Expendables. Like, what are we doing here? You know, but no, Christopher Walken wasn't terrible. It's just it's Christopher Walken. That's the problem. It's like it's like Al Pacino being a movie, like the fuck, or Anthony Hopkins in all those Thor movies. Like, oh, there's Anthony Hopkins. You know, oh yeah, you're Odin, sure. You know, it's like no. Anyway, so that aside, yeah, I like the fact that yes, because we only really got to see those three main houses, right? You know, the Atreides house, the house, I forgot the Emperor's house, and then the Harkonnens, but they're all different visually, you know. And I also like that even though he was like Emperor, what homegirl was the princess, they're not dressed very over the top. You know, it's very subdued. Like the guy's just wearing a fucking bathrobe, basically. You know, I kind of like that. I was like, instead of just ostentatious or whatever. I remember there's this one YouTuber I watch. He's a huge Dune fan. He's been making Dune videos for like 10 years before the movies. You know, and he was like that's it. It's like, wait a minute, like is that just her like morning gown? Like that's what he thought. Like no, that's a regular regal thing. You know,
I'm with it.
Yeah, but obviously you still have the weird head shit going on because she's still Bene Gesserit too, you know. I want to go back to what you guys were saying about Lady Jessica. Yeah, I like that a lot. Kind of different than the book. In the book, she was manipulative too, but this one is just like more overt, you know. But then again, she would be manipulative because her whole order is manipulative. They've been manipulating this whole thing for hundreds of years on Arrakis, you know. And this movie doesn't, the book didn't do it too. I think later on books do this, but it's like all this happened because of her, you know, because she didn't listen to the Bene Gesserit. She didn't have the daughter. She had a son, you know, and then because of that, the Emperor decided, oh, I got to do all this stuff. If the Emperor would have just left the Atreides alone, Paul Atreides would never have gone to Dune and gotten his powers. Like, it's just interesting how the Emperor decided, oh, the Atreides family is trying to take me out. Let me put them on this planet so they could be taken out by the Harkonnens. And then in the end, he gets overthrown. It's just kind of crazy how that works, you know. But it just shows how many layers this movie has, man. But yeah, so anything else you guys want to say about the first third where they're like on Arrakis?
I do want to mention that I like and this, I don't know if this is Frank Herbert or Denis, but the whole Denis, the whole thing about no wasted water.
Yeah, that's in the book. Oh yeah, where they fucking air dry my man.
They just air dry them. They air dry everybody, and going down to the Fremen city, they show the pool of water where it's like, yeah, this is generations upon generations upon generations of people. Yeah. And their spirits live within these pools, which is almost literally, and it's great. The lore, man. They do a great job with the lore.
Yeah. I will say that the books, they make it more it's like more insistent. It's like, you got to preserve that fucking water. Like, you know how in the movie, it's a movie, so they have to have their helmets off and show their faces. But every time in the book when they're out, they're every single inch of them is covered because they can't waste any moisture, obviously, because it's like super arid. But yeah, that pool is dope. And it's funny because I'm playing through or actually I beat Final Fantasy Rebirth because I reviewed it, and that pool of water kind of reminded me of the live stream in a way. It's like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's like, like when you die in Final Fantasy 7, you go into the live stream and you kind of go back and mix all the souls. So kind of remind me of that too, the pool of water. But but that little scene was pretty brutal. It's like they just put him in like an air drying thing. It's like suck up all the damn, and I also like when they were like doing that, I call it the vulture thing. It's like, all right, we're taking water out of these Harkonnens now. And that one dude was still alive. She's like, oh, get out of here, man. I'm trying to suck you out here, man. That's crazy, Yeah, again, I love the Fremen culture. I know it's like heavily based on like Arab culture. I know some people consider it problematic, but it's fucking dope. It is so cool to see that, and again, I love the way that everybody, there's different, like they're like, look at this motherfucker from the South. That wasn't in the book, but it's cool, like they didn't talk about it as like Southern, and like, yes, the Southern parts are harsher than the Northern parts, but it was all the same kind of homogenous culture of the Fremen in the book. So I like how this one is like, man, we don't believe that shit. Because it's real. Anyway, so let's move on to I call it, yeah, I guess we do it because it's like 3 distinct sections this movie is in,
3 acts.
So yeah, 3 acts. So I want to go into the second act, which is basically about the Harkonnens. We get to see their home planet. That place is fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like they had they call it a black sun and shit. It's like everything's in black and white. It's like that whole section. You felt so uneasy. And even with the music, it was very low key at points, but it was always there. It's like you always felt like there was something behind you, while you're on that planet. And then we got to see Fade, Harkonnen, crazy dude. For you guys who watched the original movie, that was Sting, so it ain't about that life,
Yeah.
They got Elvis this time.
They got oh shit. But man, like that dude, like they said, like David said, like, yeah, he's psychotic, and you could tell, like, even when he's not saying nothing, you can see
like that stare.
That stare is
just the stare.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
I was looking the entire time. I tried to see like the makeup, like where does it start and where does it end, and then there were certain times where he would make these facial like expressions where it looks like it's like quick CGI really quickly, like just like when he overextends his mouth, he like does a yell like a dog, and I'm just like, no, I'm just like trying to stare at it the whole time, like how the hell, like even the eyebrows, I'm like, he got the Goku going on,
yeah. Super
and he just does the stare the whole time. I was just like, damn, this is whoa. Yeah, that is really good, really good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the scene in the Koalition. Like they're giving him drugged up dudes, and then this one guy he wasn't. He's like, happy birthday.
Yeah, it was black and white.
Yeah, black. The whole thing was black and white.
Yeah,
but even when he was getting ready, getting ready with the blades and like stabbing the people left and right, and he's like trying to check out the blades. I was like, damn, this is wow.
The last of the Atreides, apparently.
Yeah, the last 3. Yeah, I guess they dug them off the planet. But yeah, like it's funny during that scene. I was like, "Yo, if I was in that room, I'd want to stay as far back as possible. Don't get close to that blade. But yeah, what would you guys think of? Like, Carlos, what do you think of that whole scene on the Harkonnen planet?
It was great. I mean, thematically, visually, it just had its own flavor, and that's what I appreciate about these movies. The Atreus home planet in Dune 1 felt different and completely, it was fleshed out, and Arrakis was fleshed out, and this one, man, it was crazy. And yeah, Austin Butler was perfect casting for this character. Oh my, he was so good. I felt like he was one of the standouts of this whole movie. Kind of wish there were more scenes with him too. Would have been great to have him more, before the end. And we get to learn about sort of the Bene Gesserits, because I didn't know obviously they have influence everywhere, but just how directly the influence is in every single house and every single place of the galaxy or universe or whatever they call it there. It was a great scene. I felt like those motherfuckers are crazy. Those Harkonnens, man. And also, again, shout out to I forget which Skarsgård, but the Skarsgård character, great performance in that scene as well. Just showing, they're gonna he's ready to give sort of the heir to his nephew. Does he have? By the way, I don't know if they mentioned it. Does he have any kids?
I don't remember, because I think both of them are nephews, if I'm correct.
The Batista character and Faye are definitely nephews.
Yeah. Well, we learned he has a daughter. That was interesting.
Yeah, we know about that. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know if he had a son or something happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest.
I feel so bad. You just mentioned Batista, and I forgot, which also did really good here too.
Yeah, no, Batista was good in this, but yeah, man, like Fade Harkonnen was fucking dope, man. Yeah. And again, I think that was a good way of introducing him on that planet, just how oppressive it was. But obviously, it only looks like that, like when you're outside. If you're inside, you still, everybody's back to color, And I kind of felt like the scenes where you actually do see his actual skin tone, like it made him look even more eerie, because he seems like this is like, at least when he's just a completely white, it's like it's like an alien or something. But then we see him with skin tone, like, oh, that guy's a human. Oh shit!
Yeah, you're like Coneheads.
That makes him scarier,
You're like Coneheads.
Yeah, Coneheads back in the day,
like,
But yeah, that was great. And then it set him up for like the final battle and everything, which we'll talk about. But Dana, what'd you think of the Planet Harkonnen?
I absolutely loved it. That music, throat singing alone, was jamming to throat music. I never thought I would do that. That was no, the way how they filmed it was absolutely incredible. To the part where I didn't even know what was CGI and what was just regular human people. That stadium scene, it felt like something. Obviously, it was similar to Gladiator, but my God, just the fact that it was devoid of any color, and it shows these people how it's really interesting because they're like the most deceptive, but they don't hide their deceptiveness. So I really appreciated that. The fact that the guys were drugged, so it makes it look like, oh, he's so strong, he's so incredible. But they don't know that these people are drugged, except for that one guy, which I'm not sure, because my memory of the book was like when I was 10. Wasn't there a plot to kill him, and then that's why the guy wasn't drugged?
Yeah, there was a plot.
Yeah, was actively.
They
were actively trying to kill him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They changed that in the movie. Yes, that did happen in the book. There was a plot to kill him. But it was also to test them. It's because the Harkonnens are just fucking crazy like that.
They're crazy. So
they're crazy.
What was interesting was like, we're gonna have this one dude who's not drugged, and then it's to show that I'm a great fighter, but this is not me lying. And the fact that he took off his shield. Was like, look, I can really fight you, which makes it even more scarier. Because he was like really proud of this challenge. He was like really excited to like kill the guy, not be drugged. And you just saw his psychopathic behavior. Because remember, it was that, and he was having the three girls. Who was in his room, who he treated like pets, but they were like animals at the same time.
He was feeding them the people he killed.
So it's like, should I feel sorry for them? I don't know what to do. But that was just absolutely fascinating. And then poor Batista, I really wish they did more with him. But it also just shows the sheer brutality of like, we just can't stand you anymore. We're gonna just get rid of you. So I appreciated that. But the whole situation with the test, because he got tested as well with the Bene Gesserit peoples. Unlike Paul, where we see that they're basically the same path, and I wish we could have gotten an alternate universe where he won. But unlike Paul, he was like, "Oh my God, I'm in pain." This dude was like loving every moment of it.
He loves pain. Yes,
he loves pain. But then they talked about the weakness is through sex, which I really wish we could have got and saw. I thought to me that would have been a better kind of decline of the character as opposed to what we got in that was spoiler. It's a better way of
of course it's a spoiler cast.
That's what I forgot. I'm like, downfall. No, like I thought that would have been a better way to set up that character, because I wanted him to stay so much more, because essentially he was the opposite of what Paul was. He was like, I'm going to take the cake. Paul like, I don't know if I want it. He's like, sure, I'll take it. And I would have loved to have seen him in power and that complete maniac. Oh, that would have been lovely. But we didn't get that.
To piggyback off of Dayton's point, it's kind of my biggest issue with the movie. Even though I love the movie, I think this would have been better suited as a trilogy, because there are a lot of different types of scenes that felt a little bit rushed, or that weren't. They could have spent more time, like with Fade, and the whole their kind of thing, when even pre and post when they got to Arrakis, felt like they could have done a lot of stuff more with those characters, and just a lot of scenes in general that we'll touch on later on in the show. That and it's understandable if you're going to make two movies out of it. The stuff that seemed like they put were the most important things, obviously. So I have no issue with that. But seen as like a lot of stuff that could have been a little bit more fleshed out, just to get to know a lot of these characters and get to understand a lot of the personalities and I felt like it was probably the weakest part of this movie for me.
Yeah, no, I agree, because this is a trilogy, and I just thought we would have been able to live with these characters more, because you set up the whole thing of, she's pregnant. And it's like, for do I have to wait for Messiah?
Well,
you might have
by the way,
yeah.
Clarification for me, when I say trilogy, the first book, just the first book, could have been a trilogy.
I see.
Yeah, I'll say this though, like even in the book, Fade didn't get that much screen time. Like there was the big scene in the Koalition, then the big scene at the end when they fight, but there's not much in between. So the movie would have had to like fill it. Even that whole pregnancy stuff, that was just mentioned off screen, like, oh yeah, that happened, but it didn't. You like in this movie, you actually see it beginning. In the book, you didn't. It didn't. It was like, oh yeah, this happened. It was just like a quick aside, like a quick like sentence. So you actually got more, Carlos. Believe it or not, you actually got more of this character than you did in the book. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was. I mean, we get the scene where he's talking to the Bene Gesserit priestess, and then like right away, like it just cuts to put your hand in the box, and now it's like, oh, talking to the grandmother Bene Gesserit lady.
Yeah, that was not in the book. That was not in the book. It was just like, oh yeah, we put him through the test, and he's good. Like that was literally it. That's all you get. So it was good to actually see that on screen, just like it was good to see the fight. Even in the first, both of the big battle sequences in the book, it happened off screen. It didn't happen on screen. It was like this shit's being set up, and then it's like, oh, here's the aftermath. You don't actually see any of the fighting in either case. So the fact that this movie's like, okay, we're gonna spend an hour doing the battle now, that was good. But yeah, so I agree with what you're saying, or I should say I understand what you're saying, but you actually got more of that character in this movie than you did in the book, believe it or not. But it again shows the how manipulative these women are. And again, you got to remember the original plan, right? Jessica was supposed to have a daughter, then Fade was supposed to, get together with her, and then that child was going to be the kiss at Hatterack, but now Paul became that instead, just threw their whole plan off,
But technically, it does kind of happen though.
It happens, but it wasn't supposed to be Paul. It was supposed to be the union of the Harkonnens and the Atreides. That child was supposed to be
okay, because the daughter that Paul ends up talking to, his sister, she ends up kind of being
but she's not
the Messiah.
Yes, but she's not the spawn of she's not a Harkonnen, like half Harkonnen. Like obviously we learned that Jessica is a Harkonnen herself, but like she is not, like the child was supposed to be from the Harkonnen, Fade. It was supposed to be Fade and the daughter of Jessica. That child was supposed to be who the Bene Gesserit wanted, but Jessica threw that whole plan out the door, by having Paul,
Wait, but this is what I was always confused about, because Paul's prophecies are not exactly as he sees it.
Yeah, because remember, he's seeing multiple different versions, so he doesn't know which one is going to be it. He's seeing multiple different versions,
So is Rebecca Ferguson, the mother, is she like accurately sure? Does she only see one way?
Yeah, that I'm not sure
supposed to be written in stone.
Yeah. Well, after the
to me,
worm
it seemed like their powers were off.
I think that was kind of touching on they're doing the spinoff.
Oh, the HBO show, right?
Yeah, they're doing the spinoff Sisterhood.
Because it seems to me, it seems like she'll still lie. I can't trust her.
Oh yeah, I don't trust.
So I don't even know if her visions are true.
Yeah, but you're
right.
Yeah, but you're right. Like once you drink the water of life or whatever, then you actually do see the path you're supposed to take.
She still looked like she lies on the path.
And it felt similar to Paul when he drank it. It felt like it was just more like, because before it's like, I don't know, I see you in a nuclear after a nuclear explosion, or I see myself in a battle, but it all changes. But after he drinks it, it feels like it's more straightforward what he's supposed to do, and after what he sees.
Yeah. One change they did in the movie, I think it was better, because in the book it was weird. But even though some people wanted the weird stuff, so Jessica has the daughter, so you basically have a 2-year-old talking like an adult, So I'm kind of glad they just did it this way, where she's just talking to out in the womb, because I would have just.
Well, in the original Dune, they had that.
Yeah, in the original when
Was
they
it
died,
like 3?
yeah, it's like 2 or 3. Like, but it would just be having like this 3-year-old or whatever, fucking talking like an adult, you know. So in this one, they just
And they also
took advantage of
changed
that.
because the 3-year-old is like a killer. Because remember,
Yes.
she kills the dude.
Yeah, she kills. Yeah. So they changed all that.
Yeah, it was.
Question.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Joey. You go first.
No. Just real quick. I like that as the movie goes on, where she's like, oh, you know, she's talking to her daughter. Some people are like, okay. But then later on, towards the end of the movie, you actually start hearing the daughter.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
And then their daughter's homegirl, I don't know the actress.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah.
Joey,
man.
Joey knows all the white women.
He knows all the white women, yeah.
So question. So that's interesting. So she is the child is born in the books at this same time frame, but they changed it so it's now she's talking to her from the womb.
In the womb instead of her born.
Okay, so
because the timeline is like shorter. In the book, they were with the Fremen for years, you know.
Okay, cool. Oh, that's interesting. Also, I like the way they did this because
I like that too. And then they all find out like she's with child. It's like, oh snap! It would have been weird. Kid right here.
Yep. she drank the water of life, and that explains why the baby, I guess, has something or powers, or I don't know what she has.
It awakened her powers.
Yeah,
that's the Aquafina.
You know, when I talk about the Asian actors.
At the very beginning, Paul was able to not solely clearly communicate with her, but he was able to hear her.
Was he? The daughter?
In the beginning.
I don't know about that because he was always asking his mom like, "What's she saying? What's she saying?"
Yeah. He was. She did tell him that she's talking to the baby, and but he didn't hear her.
Yeah, he didn't hear it. Yeah, he didn't hear it.
I thought he heard it.
Yeah.
Because he was like, one point he was listening to the sand, and I was like, is it like the sound that she's making through the
No, that didn't happen. Anyway, so now let's go back to the planet because now things are getting real. It's like Paul is really being pushed into going to the south. That's what they want. Like like half of them, the Fremen want believe it. They're half don't. And then things just keep getting inspired. Then what's his face? Halleck shows up. Josh Brolin shows up, and he's like, "Yo, we got to do this. We got to get revenge." And that was interesting. Paul specifically said, "Yes, I want revenge. I want revenge." So that was pretty bold stuff. And then so again, another very interesting change from the book. In the book, right, Gurney thought that Jessica was the betrayer, right? Like, remember in the first movie, it was that doctor or whatever. Like, he was the one that actually betrayed them to Harkonnen. So he didn't know that. He thought it was Jessica, right? So in the book, when he meets her, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take her out. I'm gonna kill Jessica," right? So he actually goes to kill Jessica, and Paul comes in and stops it. And then Paul's like, why didn't I see that? Like, I'm supposed to have these prophecies. I didn't foresee this. I got to take this water of life shit, But in the movie, it was he didn't foresee the attack on their home, on the Fremen home. But he's like, okay, I got to take this water, So that was a kind of very interesting thing. I guess they didn't want to have another subplot in there of Josh Brolin trying to kill Jessica, So that was cool. But regardless, it ended up with the same thing. He's like, I didn't see this coming. I can't have this happening. I got to take this water of life stuff. And then after that, that's when he becomes what he feared he would become. Like he becomes very forceful. He's like, I'm going to lead you to paradise. Obviously, that's code for we're going to just rain hell across the universe.
Which that was the second half where I saw this kid acting, and I was like, "Yo,
yeah, he was good." Yeah,
whoop, light switch.
Yeah, and it's just amazing seeing him like the way he started in the first movie, and then seeing where he ends now, like fully in control of everything, and just like I'm not gonna say manipulative. He's just forced. Like, no, we're doing this. I'm the fucking prophet. Let's go. You guys are listening to me. Like, damn, son. And then obviously, Sean is not happy about that. You're like, it's written, it's right there.
Those are the facts.
Those are the facts.
It's written.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dana.
My question is,
Yeah,
I've always wanted this because to me, it felt so sudden because we spent the whole movie and a half of him being like, no, I don't want it, no, 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 and him being pensive to that sudden change where I don't know if he was being manipulative in terms of he always knew that he was going to take that control, but right now let me just play dumb and I don't really want it. What was that switch? Because if you look, there were certain moments that he was really deceptive, which he learned from his mama. So I was just like, was he deceptive this whole time and just playing everyone until the very end?
Yeah, I don't think that was the case. You know, again, that switch was when he saw the Fremen home getting destroyed and he didn't foresee it. That's what made him go, okay, I got to do this now. You know, because remember, he really loved those people. He really felt like he was one of them, you know?
Right. But he's not the one, though. So it's just like, it's interesting.
It was written.
It's written, you know?
Yeah, that's one part that I was kind of second guessing was like, because I feel like his motivation has always been, at least post first movie, his motivation has always been to seek revenge.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the reason why he took the path that he took. I mean, the blue drink just accelerated his decision making, but I felt like all of these decisions that he's made were always going to be this because his underlying motivations are always going to be the same.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. It was always just going to happen regardless. Yeah. And then
that's why to me he felt like he was. So sorry. Okay.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was gonna just say that's why to me he was always they prepared him for this moment.
Yeah.
But I think that him, I don't want it, just helped him gain that following, gain people on his side. If you come in arrogant, like say the Paul.
Yeah, he's just humble.
I'm not the Paul.
It's written like that.
He's just humble. It's written like that, as opposed to when you saw Austin Butler's character, because they were the same path. If he was like, I'm gonna take the throne, then you're not gonna get that following behind you and people fighting for you in your, in your name and this holy war.
Yeah.
So for me, I just kind of thought that he was just playing, possum the whole time.
Well,
he was like the little rabbit who was able to survive.
Yeah, but the Harkonnens, I felt like they always had their trump card on the Emperor.
Yeah.
So I felt like if Paul never did what he did, I felt like the Harkonnens were destined to rule the Empire.
Yeah, because they could be like, hey, the Emperor's the one that made us do this, and then the other houses would get pissed off, dethrone him. Yeah, so regardless, you're right about that. That would have been the outcome,
Plus the Bene Gesserits felt like they were rooting for the Harkonnens to win.
Yeah, which is fucking nuts, man. But yeah, so now we get to the final stage. You find the nuclear arsenal and all that. That was pretty nuts. And then the big final battle. The Emperor shows up. He's like, got to take this challenge now. Paul's like, all right, motherfucker, you want to do this? Let's do this. And man, that battle was so epic, man. Like, we've seen how many movies haven't we seen where like armies just clash at each other? But it just became like a stereotype in the mid 2000s, but in this one it felt fresh again. Like, man, that's crazy. And then obviously you have these giant worms just coming out. That was so insane. It's like you see one worm, it's like, oh, hold on, we got two more, motherfucker. Let's go. That was so nuts. Oh, so good.
When you saw the little things that hit each other to warn to let the sand snakes or the sandworms to go, I'm like, this shit is about to go down.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we got a whole fleet of these things, and this is the part where I want to, because we were already kept touching on it. The special effects again, it's like, what special effects? Like, they're special effects. Yeah. But it's just so seamless, and it goes to show like the rest of these Hollywood movies, like, guys, it's possible to make good CG, and the reason that I think it works so well in this movie is because the reason why old movies had good CG or better CG is because it was still framed in something real. It wasn't just a completely fabricated shot. It was based on something. There's a real shot there. You know, again, Jurassic Park, the first Jurassic Park looks better than the fucking new ones. You know, it's crazy. Like, for example, remember the scene where the T-Rex is screaming at the end and like, you see the sign coming down? That was in a real building. It wasn't like a CG building. And nowadays it would have been a CG building. The camera shots would be something that an actual human can do, you know? So all this just felt so natural. Oh my God. Yeah. But that battle was so crazy. And again, like, I love how it all the pieces kind of came together. It's like, we found the nuclear code. Okay. I predicted the sandstorm. You know, I predicted this motherfucker's gonna be coming to the planet, and then it all just like you kind of saw the dominoes kind of toppling. You know, the only criticism I would have is like I wish they would have had a little bit of a harder time fighting against the Harkonnens at the end, and yeah, it just storm right through them. The Sardaukar, whatever, like all those cats, like nah, we destroyed this shit. You know, and then obviously it leads to the one-on-one battle with you know, Fade and Paul. That was cool too. Like, hey cousin, how you doing? I'm happy to meet you. You know, and that's where you saw like Fade. Obviously, we saw him as this like evil, manipulative dude, but the guy still had some kind of honor. You know, even when he died, he's like, you fought well. You know, I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. But it was also Paul kind of like manipulating him too. It's like okay, they got close, and then it's like, oh, hold up, gotcha, bitch. You know, that was good.
That was when after that, when my favorite line was written, where it's like, I'll take your daughter's hand in marriage. I'm like, my man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. He's like, listen. It's like I don't have to take your head. I'll just take your daughter's hand.
I was like, my man.
Yeah. But what was cool about the scene right before he goes to Chan, he's like, no matter what, I'll always love you.
Yeah.
That because he knew what he was gonna do. Because he knew exactly what he's gonna do. Pimp. You know.
Yeah.
You know, and then he's like, kiss the ring, bitch. You know, Christopher Walken's like, oh, fuck. And it was bloody as fuck, too. It was like clean, you know, but it's like, that's it. That scene was powerful. Everybody's like, oh, shit, the Emperor's bowing to him now, you know?
But even when he says that line to Christopher Walken, the Emperor, look at that again. Like, and
Christopher Walken, you know?
And you see Chani, like, exhale, like, damn, like, I hit her. I was like, oh, damn, like, oof, I felt that. Like, I just take your daughter's hand in marriage. I was like,
yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I'm trying to figure out, like, is Paul saying, "Hey, you don't really mean anything. This is more important," or is like, "Yo, I need to do this politically."
That's what it is, yeah. Because they even told him that beforehand. It's like you know, you're gonna have to do this eventually, you know.
Why can't it be both?
But by the way, I will say, if Shani ever complains about, you know, Paul's decisions, Paul can just say, "You told me to go south. I didn't want to go south. You told me to go south. I didn't want to go south."
Yeah. By the way, that was another kind of interesting change from the book because Shani was with him the entire time in the book, ride or die, no questions asked. Even at that scene, like in the end, she stays like, "Oh, you need to marry her. That's cool," because they were still going to be together regardless, you know. But in this one, she kind of goes off, which is very interesting. I don't know what's going to happen with that.
Yeah, I felt like if they didn't do that, people would complain. You know, those type of people would complain.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. But you know, hopefully, because they're not supposed to be separate, you know.
Yeah.
Because remember, this is like court stuff. It's like you're married to a specific person, but you still got your side person, you know, who you actually care about.
As it was written.
Yeah, pretty much. You got your political marriage, and then you know who you actually want. You know,
Diana, but really, it was more. What's her name? Camilla.
You know. Oh man, and then obviously, you know, the it's funny. It's like this the ending of part 1, right? Or excuse me, the ending of part 2 is supposed to be the ending of the entire first book, and then it felt like a cliffhanger almost.
Yeah.
You know, it's like oh shit, you know, because it's like okay, like hey, the other houses don't recognize you. It's like all right, let's get paradise. You know, like oh shit, you know, and the President is like yeah, let's fucking go. You know.
It was that's how it's in the prophecy.
Yes, in the prophecy. What's the prophecy, son? You know? I told you. You know, slapping each other like, let's go, son.
No, the part where he's reading out everyone's fears.
Yeah.
In that speech,
yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. I was like, man.
Yeah.
That's
how he gets everyone. At first, I was looking at. So this is how I imagined it in real time while I was watching the movie. So Paul went to the center, and then people were just doubting him, right? Like, they weren't have his back. And I felt like, oh, he's gonna talk to him, but they're all loud, and I was just waiting for him to be like, silence, and then everyone shuts the hell up, and then he starts talking. But it's still a great scene, but felt like that would have been crazy.
Yo, when he did that to the Bene Gesserit like grandmother or whatever, like silence, like he shut her ass up. It's like shit. My
she did it to him.
Now. Yeah, she did it. Yes, right. Yeah, but now it's like now the foot is on the other. Shoes on the other foot now. So good, man. All right, so we're kind of coming up on our time here. So any last thoughts you guys want to bring up before we wrap it up?
I will say the only minor change that I kind of noticed between the two movies, I know a few people brought it up too. This one looks more digital, as the first one looked a bit more film-like.
I could see that. Yeah.
But still perfect. I just noticed that little change. I was like, okay. I am so jealous for that person who doesn't know Dune that will see 1 and 2 in one.
Oh yeah, because it's so seamless.
I'm so jealous of that person.
Yeah, it's so seamless. But you're right about that. For lack of a better term, this movie looked cleaner than the first one. The first one is like gritty. It felt more earthy. Not that this one didn't either. It still feels more natural than every other movie that's out there. But yeah, man, again, you guys already know, like, I don't really buy physical movies, but I bought Dune 1 physical. I will buy this physical. And when the eventual box set comes out, you already know, man. You already know. And from what I understand right now, the movie's like apparently like the opening day was like the biggest for Denis, right? Denis Villeneuve. So I'm guessing, for him, yes. For him. I didn't say overall, I said for him. Highest grossing movie for him. So I'm gonna hope, and he said he's mostly done with the script for Dune Messiah. So I think if this movie does well, which it probably will, it's probably gonna get good word of mouth. We're gonna get Dune Messiah, and that's where you're gonna see the flip, because I know there's a bunch of these fucking idiots talking about like, oh, it's the white savior story. It's like you're gonna see the twist on that. Is
the show coming in between?
Yeah, go ahead, Dana.
Yeah, the show is in between, and also it's not a savior movie because he's a villain. But yes, the show comes. See, he has 4 different projects.
Yeah.
That is currently in the works, so we're not going to get 3 for a while.
Yeah.
But Messiah, there's a TV show is going to come in between this and Messiah.
Okay.
We just don't know the year.
You're going to say something about the whole white savior thing?
No, what I'm saying is, it's not a white savior moment, because this dude is a villain character.
Yeah, you're gonna see that in Messiah,
So this is not, and even if you could set him up as a villain. So there's no white savior moment in this at all.
Yeah, but you know how people are. They're fucking just simple,
Right.
It's
more to show how an outsider comes in and destroys everything.
Yeah.
So this is literally the movie that you want.
Yeah. And even before that, the Bene Gesserit came to this planet and fucked things up. Again, Frank Herbert, his whole thing in the book was like, don't put your faith in people like this. That was one of the themes of the book. Do not put your faith, because they will be corrupted, and that you already seen that with Paul.
This is a false prophet book.
Yes.
This whole thing was to set up false prophets.
Yep.
So
exactly.
To me, that's why I loved it even more, because it's not like he's the one. He's actually not. But it's the show, and that's what
it's written.
No, it's the show. Like, if you look at the Javier Bardem character, that's why I loved it so much with him, because it shows how someone, without question, that blind faith, without even like, let me think about this for a minute.
That line, remember the line? I don't care what you believe. I care what I believe. He says that to fucking Paul. It's like, damn, that's how powerful faith is with some people. Like, okay, you see the evidence in front of you, you don't care. You're seeing what you want. It's like, oh, yo, look at the way he stepped on that rock. It's real. It's real. Like, every little thing, it happened. Like, like, it's a warning. The movie and the book is a warning against people like that, false messiahs, false prophets.
This is why I love Chaney's character. What is it, Chaney?
Chani.
Yeah.
Chani. Yeah.
Chani's character so much, because she was like, with the Freeman, why don't we do things ourselves? Why don't we fight our own oppression?
Yeah.
Why don't we get out there and, just basically be our own person and, rise together instead of waiting for someone to come. We're adding into our own oppression by waiting for a savior.
Yeah.
But the savior ends up being a villain as opposed to you rescuing yourself. That's why, for me, when he said, I'm gonna marry Florence Pugh, you felt that gut punch.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like, oh, I thought you
Joey
loved
would've
me.
understood.
It wasn't an I love me character. It was, oh, he's really fully going into this false prophet narrative. He's doing the exact opposite of what is for the freemen. So it's not even like, oh, for the people. It's for the freemen. He says he's trying to help, but he ends up destroying. So that's why I just
nothing but respect for my
prophet.
My man.
Got the white woman, and that was the other thing. It's like, like Chani, she didn't care about that stuff. She cared about him. Like that scene where, like, he's like kind of just on the verge of death. Everybody's like, oh, he'll be back. It's cool. She's like, what the fuck you guys do? What the hell you yell him? It's like, I like that. Like, it was genuine care there. Again, fucking Zendaya did a good job here. It's kind of amazing to me because I didn't think she had it in her based on the Spider-Man movies,
And it was her tears that brought him back, right?
Yeah, it was her tears. Yeah, the tears mixed with the
Poland Spring.
But again, that was also part of the prophecy.
Yes, it was written.
It's written.
The spring of life, the desert spring. Desert spring, yeah.
Paul got some constipation eating a desert mouse, as it was written.
Yeah, man.
Go.
Man, by the way, that was another, again, the CG is so crazy. It's like, I know that fucking mouse is CG, but it looks real, because mice always look CG as fucking movies, and this one is like, oh, yeah, look at that. But then obviously the ears give it away. It's like, okay, yeah, that's not real, And I like that scene too. It's like, oh, that's a good name. That's a good name, Yeah. That it was like that in the book too. It's like, it's like, oh,
that was a real mouse.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Like, that's a fake mouse. Like, you could tell it's CG.
It's not a fake mouse. It was a real mouse.
No, it wasn't real. No, it wasn't real. Things like that don't exist. Like they're based on something. Like, but you could tell the little tweaks they did. Like, the ears aren't like that on the real version.
I know. They look like that. No.
No, they do look like. But again, you see the features are exaggerated on the movie one because it's an alien. But that's also probably why it looks so real, because it's based off a real thing, just exaggerated. But regardless, yeah, I like that. His nickname is literally Desert Mouse. It's fucking awesome. That's G shit right there. But yeah, so yeah, those are like my thoughts on the movie. The movie is fantastic. I want to see it again. Actually, Joey, did you go to Union Square for that 70mm one? Like, where'd you see it? Because I think
I go to the Alamo. They screen movies in 70.
Brooklyn, or Manhattan.
I went to Brooklyn. I believe, I don't know if Manhattan screens in 70, but in Brooklyn, yeah.
Okay, Brooklyn. I don't like going to Brooklyn though.
I've been to that one.
Yeah.
You have?
To the Cub one?
Yeah.
That's my neighborhood, bro.
Oh shit. Yeah, because it is a nice theater. I just don't like going to Brooklyn. But that theater is dope. I've been there for an event.
They just expanded.
Oh shit. Yeah. But yeah, I can't wait to see it again. I think I even saw the first one in theaters twice. I'm like, that's how you know it's real,
Yeah.
Like when I go see, and obviously I'm gonna buy it. Great. I'm so glad that we got like such a good adaptation of Dune without the bullshit that you see in a lot of modern movies. I'm not gonna say, but you know exactly what I'm talking about.
It only took 50 years.
If it was some other like fucking director, it would have been Zendaya's story. Paul would have been pushed to the side and be humiliated or whatever, But we're not gonna get into that.
Shout out to David Lynch. He tried.
Yeah, he tried. And again, Denis, I cannot wait till fucking Rendezvous with Rama. That's gonna be good. I think that's his next movie, isn't it, Joey?
Yeah. One of the four.
4 foot. Oh, we're gonna be eating good, man. We're gonna be eating good, So yeah, Dune. Again, I don't have anything. I'm repeating myself now. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'll go next. Yeah. My final thoughts. This movie was incredible. I'm happy that we got to experience this movie. I do, like Tony, want to watch it a second time, and I will watch it a second time eventually in the theater. And yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Hans Zimmer, because the score for this movie was incredible. It was up to par with everything. The cinematography was incredible. The acting was incredible. It was, man, one hell of a movie, man. I'm glad, you know, we're getting to experience this, and can't wait for Dune Messiah.
Yeah, Joey, go ahead, man.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, if he returned for the sequel, I think this was Greg Fraser, the cinematographer, who did this one and the first one, because he also did the Batman, which I also loved as well.
Oh yeah.
So I am on board, waiting for the next one, which he could take his sweet time. I don't like when things are rushed.
Yeah.
Go for it, do your thing. I will be buying this. There's not a lot of movies I buy.
You know.
Yeah, I will be pre-ordering this one ASAP, and eventually I will be seeing this again in the theater. Like this, yeah, this was a damn near like complete package. And there are gonna be those that don't like whatever. I don't even want to hear. Like this one's just, yeah, this was damn great.
Yeah, Dana.
No, I'm excited for this, and this for some. It made me excited for award season, which is way too early. But I'm like, yay! It's gonna be incredible. No, like the rest of you guys, I want to see it again. I'm trying to find tickets. I found a theater, so yay! I got my tickets to see it again. And you know, it's one of those movies that I don't want to forget because I saw it weeks ago, and I'm starting to forget some things, and I want to refresh it just because it's such an exceptional movie. I don't ever want to forget it. And I really haven't felt that way about a movie since maybe, as you was talking about, the Fellowship of the Ring, that whole trilogy.
Yeah, the whole trilogy.
Lord of the Rings trilogy. Yeah, I have not. I don't think there's been a movie that has been that impactful for so long. So I want to see it again. I started reading the book again, which is crazy because I hated it. But now I come in with a different appreciation. So it's really interesting how he is able to kind of reopen that door for something that I originally really hated. So I'm here for it.
Yeah, maybe you'll like the first movie again, you know, or for the first time.
No, I watched it again. I said no.
Damn, I don't understand it because I'm like, those two movies are of equal quality to me. You know, there's like
it's the pacing. The pacing. I get, and I understand that they're establishing things, and it does make me appreciate the second movie more. But the pacing wasn't as good with this. And the characters, but
yeah, go ahead, Joey.
No, I just want to know.
Yeah. You know, you finished. Dana.
Really quickly, what happened to the black guy who was in the first movie?
He died.
He was a light-skinned black guy. He died?
What light-skinned black guy?
Oh, light skin.
There was the oh God, I can't remember his name, but he was basically not security. I think he was kind of like part of security.
Not Jemis.
Oh, the old guy.
The old guy, yeah. Like he was like the computer guy or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, he just disappeared.
Did he die? Did he die in the raid?
I don't know.
He didn't die in the raid.
And I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
the head of security dude.
Yeah, he died. But like I remember that he had kind of like freckles too, right, Dana?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's like a mentat or something. Like basically, he was the human calculator, I believe.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. It's a good question. I think he probably just died in the raid in the first film. You know, because remember, by this time it's like they only had 3 other members of House Atreides. You know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They just
he's just dead. Yeah, he's just dead. You know.
It's just it's really crazy that we were almost blessed to get this in November, but instead we got the Marvels.
Trash, you know. Speaking about trash, I didn't see it, but like you already know. I checked out of Marvel after Doctor Strange. I'm like, okay, I'm done.
When I heard
multiverse, not the first Doctor Strange.
I heard that
you and I saw that one together. The first Doctor Strange, fucking great movie.
I heard that the writer's strike they delayed Dune 2. I was just like, no.
Yo, Carlos and I were like, don't delay Dune, said you know? Fucking writer strike. But anyway, Dune 2, go see it. Masterpiece, modern masterpiece. It'll remind you that movies can actually be good if you have a passionate director who wants to entertain and not preach. Great movie, you know. Anyway, we're gonna be done here. Do we have anything to plug? Dan, I'm gonna go to you. What's going on with the Koalition?
We have a bunch of Dune interviews. They're on the site, so that's there.
There you go. All right, Joey, man, good to see you again, brother. If people want to follow you, where can they follow you?
Underscore Brooklyn Bear on Twitter to get all your, or X to get all your Florence Pugh love.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, and sorry, Elon, I will never call it X. That shit is Twitter. You know, you know. And then obviously you can follow me and Carlos on Throwdown every Thursday and Sunday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, where we will be talking about the video games. You know, like we do every week. Been a lot of drama in the industry lately with all these layoffs.
Oh, yeah.
So go check out the last episode. We got more questions this week. By the way, sometimes I do this. Sometimes the fans don't ask questions that I would want to talk about. So I would either have one of us ask the question or I'll do it. I did this time. The question that I asked is, was it like tasteless for Jeff Keighley to tweet about Game Scent, you know, when the fucking layoffs were happening? Because that was just very tasteless, you know. It's like, hey guys, this is smell-o-vision for gaming. It's like, motherfucking 900 people got laid off. You don't say nothing, you know. So we're gonna talk about that and more. And yeah, that's gonna do it for us. And we will obviously be back in the future for Dune Messiah spoiler cast. And March 14th, Invincible podcast is coming back.
Oh yeah,
you know, with many of the same people that you're seeing here right now. It's gonna be fun, man. You already know Invincible. Loves me some Invincible. I cannot wait. So that's March 14th. So we'll probably do it that weekend of Dana. That's on Friday, right? March 14th. That's when Invincible usually airs. So yes, we'll be back that weekend. Talk more Invincible, the final 4 episodes that we had to wait for because of the writer's strike. You know, writer's strike just affected everything. Because we were like, yo, what do you mean only 4 episodes? Because nobody was working, bro. Yeah. Relax. Anyway, so another great podcast, a lot of fun, and go see Dune. Yeah, it's so good, so good. By the way, some asshole on fucking Twitter right now going, oh, why you capping, bro? Because I'm tweeting about how great the movie is. Like, man, slap the shit out of you, bro. I'm capping.
I had a few of those too.
Yeah, like, did you see it though? Yeah, like, you know they didn't.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me stop rambling. We'll see you guys next time. Later.
Peace. I did like Blade Runner 2049.
It's a good movie.